I'd like to call the National Town Council meeting to order this Thursday, June 4th. So let us please stand for our pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Father, we thank you so much for your guidance through all this budget process. And Lord, we just ask for your continued watch over the citizens' money and help us to spend it wisely. Amen.
Amen.
And amen. Okay, our first item is what our meeting's all about tonight. And that what we're considering first is the fiscal year 2020-21 budget ordinance, and then the Fire Station 2 capital project ordinance, and then the fiscal year 2020-21 fee schedule. So the purpose of this meeting is to adopt the final year 2020-21 budget ordinance, Fire Station 2 capital project ordinance, and fiscal year 2020-21 fee schedule. A public hearing was held on June 4th, 2020 to hear public comments on the proposed budget. So we need to see about adopting this. So let's go on to the first, which is, and I'll read this. It says, whereas the town manager has presented to the town council of the town of Nashville a proposed budget for fiscal year 2020-21. And whereas the town council has conducted a public hearing on June 2nd, 2020, which was advertised on May 21st, 2020 in the Nashville Graphic, a local newspaper with general circulation. Now therefore be it ordained by the town council of the town of Nashville that the 2020-2021 fiscal year budget is adopted with the revenues and appropriations by fund as stated in the summary of the funds for fiscal year 2020-2021, showing estimated revenues and appropriations are subject to follow. One, the tax rate will be set at 58 cents per hundred based on an assessed estimate evaluation of $379,446,834 at a 97.19% prior year collection rate. The vehicle license tax is set at $12.50 per registered vehicle. An additional tax rate of 10 cents per 100 of assessed evaluation is levied in the municipal service district. A tax rate of 15 per 100 of assessed evaluation on the NC Gully Rural Fire District. The budget officer, town manager, is authorized to transfer monies from an appropriation to another within the same department. Any such transaction shall be reported to the town council at its regular meeting and shall be recorded in the minutes. The budget officer, town manager, is authorized to transfer amounts up to $5,000 between departments of the same fund upon finding they are consistent with operational needs. Any such transaction shall be reported to the town council at its regular meeting and shall be recorded in the minutes. Any transfer over $5,000 between departments or across funds shall be submitted to the town council for approval prior to the transfer. No revenues may be increased and no funds may be moved from the contingency account without formal approval from the town council prior to the action. The budget document is accepted, made part of this ordinance, and is on file in the office of the town clerk of the town of Nashville. Any discussions or questions?
I have a question about the stormwater fee. Should that have been listed with, or is that considered a tax because it's on your tax bill?
It's a fee, it's not a tax.
It's in the fee schedule, isn't it?
Anyway, it appears on your tax bill, your property tax bill. That's why I wondered if it should have been mentioned with these. Everybody looks at it as a tax since that's, you know. they pay for it when they pay for the property taxes.
I have a quick question. Here it says that the tax rate of 15 cents per 100 is assessed valuation levied against the Gully Fire District. Now, we haven't heard back on that yet, and we won't until
15th of
the
the month,
15th.
15th at the earliest.
So can we say this?
We could say subject to Nash County approval.
Yes.
Any other?
I have a concern about the rate of increase. Randy, you were saying that it was 11% over the 1920 budget.
What was that again, Louise, please?
Okay, our new budget for 2021, you said was 11% over the 1920 budget
Amended,
amended. Okay.
yes.
Expenditures.
The expenditures that we've approved for the fiscal year we're in right now, our proposed budget is 11% greater than that.
Okay, but if you look at the budget that we passed in 1920 and the one that we are proposing now, it's a 17% increase.
It is, yes. But
Okay,
as you know, 1.9 million of that is just transfers.
right.
Wasn't cash expenses, it was moving money between funds.
It's a paperwork change. That's all it is, paperwork. There's no funds transferred from here to there. It's just paper was listed here, should have been listed here.
But when that's published, that information won't be there. People are going to be looking at the hard numbers from 1920 to 2021. It won't be an asterisk down there saying, you know. You see what I'm saying? They'll look at the hard numbers and do 8th grade math and figure out that it's a 17% increase.
But you also have to look at income too. So when we have greater income based on grants, based on taxes, based on fees that are levied, whatever it is, that causes an increase as well. So you can't just look at total versus total because it's money coming in that is lumped into that.
But a
as well.
lot of that money that we're counting on coming in, we're not sure of. It's a big assumptions.
It's big assumptions based on the most valuable information that we can get, which is the North Carolina League of Municipalities going with the most conservative, greatest losses, lowest earnings coming in on the consensus of people who do this for a living, economists, which we have to rely on to some extent to make these decisions.
But our neighboring governments like Rocky Mount, they're reducing their budget by 3.6. And the county is keeping it flat. Actually, they're going down a couple of thousand, I think. It's
These
reported
are
in the
also
paper,
two very large entities that have a lot more wiggle room in their budgets.
which means we have to be even more careful because we don't have the revenue that they have.
Any other comments?
I've looked at the budget thoroughly. I've gone through it. I feel like we've done a very good job of being extremely conservative in our estimates. I've gone through it line item by line item. I feel like with what we know, we can go into this with a degree of caution as we enter the new fiscal year, so that if things do become bad again, we can address those issues. But I had looked at something just earlier today, the Congressional Budget Office on its May 19th report, which is a long report, but I pulled out a few pieces, said that economic growth is expected to pick up during the second half of 2020, averaging 15.8% at an annual rate during that time. Increases in consumer spending are expected to more than offset further declines in business investment during the period. And it went on to say that the Congressional Budget Office expects consumer spending will rebound and grow at an average annual rate of 22.6% the second half of 2020. Of course, this is the entire country. Those numbers or percentages may not hold true for Nashville, but I feel like by virtue of the fact that we are a little different, we're definitely different than a Raleigh. I think we're different than a Rocky Mount with being a small town. I've looked at the numbers. I'm comfortable with them. The increases that we have, which were spelled out. I mean, of that list, what can we not do? You know, we've got to have a garbage truck, the BC3 service, the pay study, I feel is extremely important. The comprehensive plan, financial software, the firefighters, which of course are contingent on grant funding. You know, that's $850,000 of the increase that we're seeing. So if we cut, you know, where are we going to cut?
The only other place I can see we can cut is to cut service to the citizens.
Well, and
And
we don't want to do that.
we don't want to do that. We're not doing it. We're not doing anything with their 58 per 100 tax base.
Exactly.
We're leaving it there. So if we're going to leave it there, why should we cut it,
Common services.
cut back on services? The only thing that I can say that will help us out, hopefully, based on what economists are telling us, we may spring back quicker than what we probably anticipated. But I feel pretty sure that, and I'm not an economist, that when it does come back, it's going to come back strong. But in the interim, until we get to that point, based on what we receive or what we take in for the last the last quarter of this budget, probably may come out under. And if we do come out under, that would tell us that, well, we can't look forward to us bouncing back the first quarter of this budget we're about to pass tonight. If we do, then what we'll have to do then, and we've got 3 department heads sitting in here right now. We got 4 department heads sitting here now. We'll probably have to go back to the department heads and says, this is your budget for the year, but for the first 2 quarters, until we see money coming in, you ain't got all this budget. You're gonna have to cut back and cut something else until we start seeing this revenue come back in. But that's all I see we can cut. I mean, you know.
And this is all assuming that the virus does not come back.
That's right. It's all assumed because nobody knows what the virus is gonna do.
Any other comments?
Of course, we're talking about the entire budget, but specifically related to the water, sewer, or the enterprise fund that we have, you know, and the fee increases that are associated with that. Again, I think that that's extremely important that we do it now, because the whole intention of an enterprise fund is to operate like a business that self-sustains itself. And if we don't, then we're going to incur losses in that enterprise fund that we're going to end up subsidizing with general fund property tax revenue, which is not what it's designed to do. And we don't want to put that additional burden back on taxpayers to support or subsidize an enterprise fund that's supposed to be operating at least breaking even on an annual basis. So,
But we're doing this at the worst time. On the one hand, we're giving people an extension on paying their water bills. And we don't know how long that extension will be. No one's being cut off and no one's being pressured to pay. And on the other hand, we're saying, oh, by the way, we're going up $750 on your utility bill. I just think this is a
We
very
already gone
difficult
back into
time.
effect with payment for the water bills?
They did extend.
They
Okay.
It's been extended for 2 months.
But I will say that our current collection rates holding pretty steady. Haven't seen any catastrophic decrease in what's coming in whatsoever. The main loss is the fees, the late fees.
But $750, that's a 23% increase, right, Randy?
$7.50 per month per household.
And people see that every month and they look at that as a tax. You know, we're not going up on property taxes, but they view that because they see that every month. I understand the reasoning for it. Just bad timing.
Any other comments from the council? So we've looked at that, and then the next one that was on our agenda is, of course, the fire station, which we've discussed also. Should I just read through that part?
well, and just a question. Do we need to approve or adopt these individually or
Do
can
we?
let
We do.
Okay.
individually?
Okay, I was thinking, thank you. I was thinking we
I
did that.
wasn't sure either.
Okay, then the first one we've just discussed is the total budget ordinance for 2020, 21. Do I hear a motion that we approve this budget?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Or is there any discussion?
It's an ordinance, so you'll need to have a roll call.
Okay,
Need a roll call?
okay,
I vote yes.
yes,
Yes.
Yes.
No,
no. Okay, 3 yeses and 1 no. Move on over to the capital project ordinance, the fire station 2. And we'll read, do you think I need to read through that?
You can quickly.
Mayor, before you start, should we just bring up,
the fact that this ordinance probably should not be voted on because the Gully Fire District monies have not been decided by the county.
so once we hear from the county that they are going to approve the tax, we can approve this. But before that, I don't think we should because we don't have the funds or the capabilities for the fire station without the increase in the tax.
So this is just a capital project ordinance, which will be a multi-year project. So,
Okay, but if the county says no, what does approving this right now do?
well, I mean, they may say no this year, but the project ordinance would be in effect. So
So
We need to hold back on the ordinance
I
now.
would say just hold off until we get the approval on the 15th. Is that when it is? And then once the increase comes in, we can approve this next time if that works.
We'll need a motion for that.
Yes, ma'am, please.
Yeah, a motion to table it.
While we need the fire station, I would like to make a motion that we table this until we hear from the county that they have approved the increase in the tax before we approve our ordinance for the fire station.
Second,
Second. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries. Now we will look at our fee increases, our fee schedule. And if you look on the first page and look down at the bottom for the meter cost, you'll see, and I don't know that much about all these pipes, so I will just water meters, a 5/8 inch water meter is going to 205. The 1 inch water meter is 305. The 1.5 water meter is $570. The 2 inch water meter is $680. The 2 inch compound meter is $2,009. The 4 inch water meter is $3,100. And the 6 inch water meter is $5,070. Irrigation connection is $550 with the meter. Can you explain that any more to the public, the people that are listening? That's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, let's move to the next page. I'm just gonna look at the increases. In the water-based fee of the 5/8 inch meter is $13.61 a month, and that includes the first 1,000 gallons. In-town water rate, all meter sizes is $4.18 for the first 1,000 gallons. And then if you'll move down to these are the increases. If you'll move down to in-town sewer-based fee, that's going to $13.91 per month. And that includes the first 1,000 gallons. And if we go over to the next page, down at the bottom, the change is the annual upkeep is $30 per year or $150 one-time fee. That's another change.
For cemetery.
That's for cemetery. That's for cemetery.
Yeah, I forgot to say that. That's for the
Yeah,
cemetery.
cemetery.
And then the public works sanitation and recycling fees. The sanitation monthly fee is going to be $18.78. And the recycling monthly fee is $5.35. So what are we adding here? It was 14. So they are the ones that are changing. Is that correct?
Correct.
And then to pick up appliances, we're going from $10 to $25.
Correct.
And then, do we have any on the last well, not quite the last page, next to the last page, the zoning certification letter, this is for the planning department, is going to be $40. And then the subdivisions, the major preliminary, more than 5 lots, no improvements, is going to be a $50 flat fee. And then the major final plat review is going to be $100. And then the site development plans, residential and commercial, will be $150. That's an increase of $50. And then on the very last page, the flood zone certification, it's going from $30 to $40. And I think that's the changes. Do I have any questions about those or any input?
The 1361, okay, that encompasses the $6 mandate, the $1.87. What is the $1.87 for?
That is the increase, Louise, that we're proposing so that we can get the base meter fee to cover our fixed costs with the water system. Everybody pays that $7.87. I believe that's what it comes to.
And then the 574 for the first 1,000 gallons.
Yes, for each, it's all rolled in there for that 1361.
So I guess what I'm saying, that the $6 mandate never went away.
No, it's been renamed,
We just renamed it.
renamed it.
Still there. Renamed it.
Still there.
Mhm.
So on this part, do we still have to have a roll call for this too, for the fiscal year 2020, 2021 fee schedule? Do I hear a motion that we approve this?
So maybe.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, let it be known by Larry.
Yes, yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Louise.
No,
No. So it's 3 yeses and 1 no. Well, I think we have taken care of business. We made it to the finish line and we pray it all work out great. But thank you so much for your hard work on this budget, because I know everyone has worked very diligently. Sam, Randy, and the council people, I thank you so very much. Do I hear a motion that we adjourned our meeting?
I'll be glad to make that motion, but before I do that, I would like to say, Sam, thank you so much for what you put in. I've been in Sam's office a couple of times, wearing her to try to explain simple stuff to her, but jumbo to me, and she's really worked it out for me where I can understand it. Thank you.
In a patient and classy way.
And patience. Randy has always been able to answer whatever I asked him. And our new town clerk, thank you for what you're doing. And the department heads, you guys that are in here, thank you so much, and tell your staff that we appreciate what they're doing, and we hope we can keep on keeping our same level of service.
Thank you.
Based on that,
Do you have any comment?
And I also want to reiterate what Larry's saying, just thanking all the staff for the hard work that they have put into the budget. It's been a good process. And also considering where we are with the virus right now, just encouraging everyone to do what we can to support our local businesses. Go downtown, get a sandwich. The little coffee shop is open again,
Is it?
and they have pre-made wraps. So there's a little additional there, but just do what we can to support our local businesses. I think that's critical at this juncture.
Absolutely.
Kate?
I second both of those. A huge thank you to all of the staff, especially our finance department, our department heads, and Randy. I know this has been an arduous process. I know there's been a lot of new that's gone on. And so we just appreciate everyone's hard work, their patience, their understanding, and just helping us through all of this. Thank you.
Louise?
and I too appreciate, especially you and Randy trying to educate me about.
educate us all.
I hate to tell you I'm hard-headed,
No.
but you tried.
Well, the thing of it is, what I love about it, like I said, I appreciate all your hard effort. But I think we've agreed to disagree at times, and that's what we have to be. We're a team. And if we can't function as a team, we need to be dissolved, But I do thank you. And Sam, I appreciate the baby waiting. Let us get through this process. So give him our regards when he goes. But again, to the council and to the departments, thank you so kindly. You are valued and you are appreciated. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Uh,
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.